What's up, guys? This is Jake Wilbur with Hoop Scoop TV, and today I'm going to give you guys 3 reasons why I think the Toronto Raptors can finally get over that playoff hump. Alright guys, so before we get into the video, I want to let you know about something really cool going on over at our Instagram page at Hoop Scoop TV. We're following back every single one of the accounts that follows us. We're trying to build a positive basketball community. I go live every once in a while. I answer a bunch of questions, basketball questions, NBA questions, whatever it might be. And we're just trying to build a positive basketball community, so to speak. So you can find it at the link in the description below. Give us a follow on the G. We'll be sure to follow you guys back. Thanks. For the last few seasons, the Toronto Raptors with Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan have looked great in the regular season, but come playoff time, they haven't really been able to do much with the formidable Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James. So, in today's video, I want to talk about 3 of the reasons why this year might be a little bit different. Alright, let's jump right in. First reason why I think the Raptors actually have a legit shot at dethroning the Cavs this season is because they changed their pace of play. So anyone who's been familiar with the Raptors and how they play over the last few seasons know that they're usually the type of team that slows things down. But time and time again, we've seen the Toronto Raptors kind of make it to the playoffs, have really good regular seasons, and then fall flat on their face when they meet a really legit basketball team like the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let me drop some numbers at you in terms of their pace of play for this season. So, in points, they went from 10th in the league last season to 3rd in the league this season. In three-point attempts, they went from 22nd last season to 5th this season. In pace of play, they went from 22nd last season to 9th this season. And in assists, they went from 30th, that's dead last in the league, to 10th this season. So those numbers are absolutely staggering, and I think the reason why the change of pace is one thing that's really going to help the Raptors get over this hump in the playoffs is because come playoff time, a lot of teams can kind of take away that top scorer. They can take away a Kyle Lowry, they can take away a DeMar DeRozan. But with the change of pace that they're playing right now, it's going to allow Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan to not have to carry so much of a load offensively and not have to do it by themselves playing one-on-one ball down the stretch in 4th quarter. Because with the Toronto Raptors' old pace of play and what they would do in the playoffs like last year and the year before that, we would see, especially down the stretch of games, their offense just get real stagnant. It's because they didn't play with any pace. When you play with pace, you're able to push the ball up the floor, you're able to get more open shots because you're putting the defense in a bind. So as long as the Raptors continue to play with the higher pace and get out in transition and kind of run and get those easier buckets, I think it's really going to open up DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry to kind of do their thing down the stretch of games, especially in the playoffs. So that's my first reason why I think the Raptors are more legit contenders this year. Alright, so now let's talk about the second reason why I like the Raptors going into the playoffs this season. And that second reason is Dwayne Casey. A lot of you guys who are casual basketball fans might not know who Dwayne Casey is, but he is the head coach for the Toronto Raptors. I know the Raptors don't get a ton of publicity. They're kind of the team up north that no one really talks about, but Dwayne Casey is definitely up there with some of the best coaches in the league. Guys like Brad Stevens and guys like Steve Kerr. He has done an amazing job with this team, and honestly, if you look at the best NBA teams in the league, the teams like Golden State, the teams like the San Antonio Spurs, the teams that are always there, a lot of them have staple coaches that have been there for a few years. Like in the Spurs case, Greg Popovich has been there for many, many years, and he's a model of consistency. And the thing with coaches like this is that when things get a little tough or their formula's not necessarily working, their game plans aren't working, they're not afraid to scrap it and change. And that's one of the reasons why I really love the Raptors' chances moving forward, is because Dwayne Casey understood that the Raptors were hitting their ceiling come playoff time. They would have great regular seasons, but come playoff time they just couldn't get over the hump. and they were plateauing as a team. And when that happened, offseason, Dwayne Casey made a conscious effort to change the pace of play. So even with the same personnel, they're getting dramatic results, skyrocketing in all those pace of play statistics. So I think Dwayne Casey and his ability to change on the fly and say, hey, you know, this isn't working, maybe we should try this, is super important to the Raptors' success moving forward in the playoffs, because Dwayne Casey has proven his ability to coach and lead an NBA franchise. To the casual NBA fan, coaching kinda is something that goes under the radar. You know, a lot of people just think of the star players, the LeBron James, the DeMar DeRozans, the Steph Currys of the world. But coaching is super important come playoff time, because you gotta make those adjustments on the fly in a 7-game series to find out what's working and what's not gonna work. So I think Dwayne Casey is hugely important for the Raptors moving forward. Alright guys, so the number one reason why I think the Toronto Raptors can finally get over that hump in the playoffs is because of their MVP candidate, DeMar DeRozan. This dude has been playing at an absolutely unbelievable level, especially as of late, dropping 52 on the Bucks, and he's doing it in a lot different way than he has in years past. And this is kind of buying into Dwayne Casey's personality and the way he does things, which is, if it's not working the way you want it to work, if you're hitting a plateau, you got to change something and make something happen. And I think DeMar DeRozan kind of came to that point in his career last season. You know, he was great in the mid-range. He was one of the best players in the league for sure, but DeMar DeRozan changed his game in the offseason. DeMar finally came to the realization that you can't just be a mid-range slasher type of guy in today's modern NBA. And if he wanted to be that next level superstar, he had to develop a game from beyond the arc. And that's exactly what DeMar DeRozan did. He took this offseason, grow his game, and make it to where he can actually become an effective threat from beyond the arc. In the first few years of his career, he shot only 21%. This season, he's shooting 37%. He's shooting 16% better from beyond the arc. So the great thing about DeMar DeRozan now having a game from beyond the arc means that it opens up his offensive game in other ways too. He had already was able to kind of get to the rack and finish through contact, and he was great from the mid-range. But now that he can shoot, it's going to draw defenders out. It's going to give him the ability to dish off to shooters and create huge driving lanes for him and for his teammates. And come playoff time, DeMar DeRozan's ability to shoot the ball from beyond the arc is going to open up their game offensively. The change of pace and play, Dwayne Casey and DeMar DeRozan playing at an MVP type level, just might be enough to get the Raptors past the Cavs this year in the Eastern Conference playoffs. Alright guys, so there it is, my top 3 reasons why I think the Raptors might be able to get over that hump in the East this year. If you guys like this video, you're going to want to do a few things. First, subscribe to Hoop Scoop TV. We're putting out awesome basketball content weekly, and I promise you'll enjoy it. Second thing you want to do is like this video, and the last thing you want to do is leave a comment behind. I like to interact with you guys as much as I possibly can, and we're a channel for the people, by the people. We do all of our content off of you guys' requests. So, leave a comment behind. Hopefully I'll get to it. As always guys, this is Jake over with Hoop Scoop TV, and until next time, we out.